Hello everybody, I'm Nick DeLeo and welcome to School Talk. As always, we're coming to you from inside the television studio right here at Warwick Valley High School. There's an expression that everything old is new again, and that touches on the fact that change is constant. For us at the high school, that means new leadership in the form of a new principal and vice principal. Joining us today on School Talk is Georgiana Diopoulos and Nicholas Emanuele. Hello to both of you and welcome to School Talk.
Hello.
It's your inaugural show here.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's good.
Thank
Well,
you.
actually, we have to kind of fix it. One is kind of new, one's not, if you think about it.
Do not describe me as old.
No, we're not saying. We're going to say, we won't call you old.
Gently used.
Well, it's good to have you guys here. Welcome to Warwick Valley High School. Let's talk. Our first question is, tell me a little bit about your educational background. We always know that administrators come to us having taught before. So tell me a little bit about where you went to school, what you taught when you were a teacher before becoming an administrator. George, I'll start with you.
Sure. I started college at Binghamton University. I went to SUNY Bing.
Okay.
And
Go Bing.
Go Bing. Graduated with a degree in psychology.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then got into teaching in New York City.
Okay.
I'm a special education teacher, specifically with math. And from there, did my first master's degree at Hunter College and my second master's degree at Seton Hall University. And when I left New York City, I went to Clarkstown, Rockland County. I taught middle school. My entire career was middle school.
Really?
I was first hired in the 1900s. And
That's me. 1867.
Yes, right.
That's right.
And became a principal in Rockland County, and then seven years ago now, I was blessed to get a position here in Warwick Valley, and I'm super thrilled to be the principal of the high school and see all my kids from the middle school growing and maturing. Yeah,
That's
it's great.
a really nice perspective. Nick, tell me a little bit about your educational background.
So I did my undergrad at East Stroudsburg University. I graduated with health and phys ed.
Okay.
After college, I came back to Minnesink, where I went to high school. I'm sure everyone at this point kind of knows that already.
Yeah, that's the worst kept secret around
yeah,
here, but
yeah.
that's okay.
So
we won't hold it against you.
Yeah.
Actually, we love music.
I went back to Minnesink. I taught health and phys ed there for 9 years.
Oh, okay.
I was coaching there for 12 years, football and golf. And then I went and got my master's at NYIT. And then obviously did my leadership program through LIU. And this is my first time being a full-time assistant principal.
Awesome.
So it's pretty exciting, yeah. New school, new job, it's
New people.
a lot of change, yeah.
Well, good.
A lot of new people.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to have you here at the school.
Thank you.
All right. Keeping up with the theme of change. Okay. What changes do you folks have planned as administrators? Do you see anything, or you're going to kind of just lay low for a bit?
You know, Warwick Valley High School is an incredible place. It's a wonderful place, and wonderful programs, great kids, incredible faculty. Right now I'm thinking of just kind of soaking in what's around us and then looking for ways to improve or expand on all of the wonderful things that we already do. So there's a lot of good stuff happening here.
Right.
So I'm
And
just
you also
excited to be a part of it.
Right, and you had mentioned earlier that you've already been here 7 years, which is nice. It's a nice segue up here. Nick, you come from Minnesink. Are there any programs you've seen at Minnesink or any other school that you think might be a good fit for Warwick? Or you're kind of just learning the
Well,
ropes?
coming to a completely new district, that everything is different for me. So I'm dealing with change all over the place. I come from a place where I know everyone and know everything to a spot where I know nothing. So, I'm doing a lot of learning myself, and I'm happy about it because I'm growing. Like, I'm definitely growing.
Excellent.
I think if I was gonna piggybacking off of what Ms. Diopoulos said, like, there's a lot of good culture here and there's a lot of good teachers and good students. So it's a really good place with a lot of like uplifting atmosphere. And so I wouldn't say I'm coming in and trying to change everything. It seems to be a pretty well-run spot, so I'd like to continue that. And then any kind of changes that happen, I would say, would be in the form of like adapting to new things that are getting thrown at us.
Right.
So just to give you an
That
example,
seems to be
like
daily.
yeah. I would say the one thing, just some changes that have been made on our end, I think, has been like the safety procedures that we've done. So
I agree.
we've done a couple of little bit different things as far as how fire drills go. We'll have a lockdown drill soon. Those are going to be a little bit different. We've kind of talked about that already at the faculty meetings and stuff. So just little things like that, just little adjustments that we have to make as we move throughout the year.
I think small steps. A lot of times, small steps
yeah.
are bigger than giant steps.
Yeah.
You know, always. Let's go to another question. How do you juggle the demands of the high school day versus your own personal life? Nick, I'll start with you this time.
So I think you have to have a good support system outside of school. I'm fortunate. I have a great family. I have great friends my friends have been my friends since I've been a little kid. So I have a really strong friend group.
That's awesome.
So being able to remove yourself from what happens at work and being able to go home and just kind of decompress and it's really about the people that you have in your life. And I'm fortunate, though, that the people that I'm at work with are great as well, right? So my administrative team is awesome. Mrs. Diopoulos has been a great leader and a great role model for us. And again, being the new guy, it's a little tough, but I have with Mr. Fiorentino and Mrs. Hill Lewis, they've been really supportive as well. So it's a balance, right? So you try not to take work home, but you typically do.
Yeah.
So the people at work have got to be supportive, and the people at home got to be supportive. So,
I agree.
So that it's really going well on both ends. So it's good.
George, what do you think? Same thing?
Same thing. It's about trying to find a balance. I think sometimes I personally look for overall balance, not necessarily a balance every single day. Mm-hmm. Some weeks I'm here a lot more than I'm at home, and some weeks I'm home more than I'm here. So it's in the long run just making sure that everything
What's
is.
the old saying? Ebbs and flows and ebbs.
There's an ebb and flow to it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's what it is. Good. Before you became administrators, you were both teachers, and the video production kids want to know a favorite funny memory when you were both still in the classroom.
I'll start off. I ran a couple stories by some people trying to figure out which one to go with here. So I guess I'll go. I'm phys ed teacher, and we're playing hockey, and it was a really intense class. Like the games were great. The scores were always really close. The kids were really into it, and like they were really tight games. And there was music playing on the speakers throughout the gym, and there's some songs playing, whatever. Kids are kind of bopping their head to it, but then all of a sudden, like a Disney song came on. I can't for the life of me remember what it was, but all the kids legitimately dropped their sticks in the middle of the game and started dancing. And it wasn't planned. It wasn't anything that they were like, hey, let's just do this to mess with them. Like they legit got into it and started dancing. And I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I mean, you're in the middle of like a really tight game, really intense. So anybody that plays floor hockey, I'm sure it gets intense here too in phys ed, but they just dropped their sticks and danced. And it was like really funny. It was really lighthearted. But that always stuck out to me. And then of course, going forward, once a class, they dropped their sticks and danced. So that was a good last couple of weeks of school.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it was good.
George, what do you have?
That's a hard story to follow.
Actually, I got to give you that.
It's a good story. I think I like that one the best. I think for me at this point in my career, I've been doing this a very long time and teaching. My fondest memories are just when you run into an old student that you haven't seen in a while, and they remember you, and they talk about your classroom and how they felt and thank you for your help. That's like my favorite part of being a teacher.
I have to agree that it makes it all worthwhile sometimes, doesn't it?
100%.
Okay, so that you guys know, this year, and I think we started it last year, the crew writes their own questions. So looks like there are 5 or 6 of them here. So here we go.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So from the crew, ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back to when you were in high school. What subject was the hardest for you? For me, it was always, and to this day, math. George?
Social studies.
Social studies.
Social
okay.
studies was hard. I think because my father was a social studies teacher.
That might have something to do with it. Maybe you were rebelling. You just didn't.
A little bit. I'm not
Nick.
gonna lie.
So mine's a little bit not one of those main ones like math or English. I'm going to go with foreign language.
Okay.
So I would walk into a class and they would talk and I would just look and be like, Yeah, okay. And I would get like one keyword and just repeat it all the time. At this point, I don't even remember what it was. It was probably like hola or something like
was
that.
it lapis or
Yeah,
something,
it was
pencil.
something, but I just could not pick up on it. To me, it was just like I have to remember all these words, and I'm sure there was a strategy to it that could help you remember it. I just couldn't figure that one out.
It's hard. We'll hook you up with Mr.
It's-
Barcaro
it's
later
hard
today.
and
How's
stuff.
that? It's hard. If you were a student here, what would you buy from the school lunch? I guess that's presupposing you know what's on the schedule the menu.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with pizza
Okay.
because I love pizza.
Me too.
Anywhere I go somewhere, I attempt to get a slice. I consider myself a pizza connoisseur.
You are.
Yeah. So I would say I would try the pizza and then I would give it a little bit of a rating in my head. Yeah.
I have to say our pizza's really good here. It's good.
It looks pretty good. I see them eating it, and that's
You haven't
like,
had yet?
I have not had it yet.
Go
Though.
see Julie.
It does look really
It's
good.
very
though.
good. They make it here.
Yeah.
George?
I would say to me, there's nothing better than a spicy chicken sandwich.
Yeah. I love that too.
I have not seen that yet. They have
Either
that
come
here.
down. It's down at the kiosk down from me. Come on down today
okay.
and take a look.
Down at the middle school, it was always the chicken parm. Chicken parm was always a
We
big
have
one.
chicken. I don't know. I'll have to ask the students. I don't think we have chicken parm here. What's your favorite sport or video game to play? Or I think the third choice is neither. Good for me.
I love to watch football.
Okay. that counts.
That counts. That's
That
it.
counts.
My favorite sport is definitely football.
Okay.
And I can answer both questions. I don't really play video games anymore, but I did grow up playing video games and also Madden, which is a football game.
Sure.
Yeah. So I mean, I've played that since Super Nintendo. I've had it every one that came out up until a couple years ago. So definitely football and video game. I would have to go with Madden.
Okay, good. If you won the lottery, what's the first thing you would do? And I kind of think I know this answer, but I'm curious to see what comes out.
I would definitely move south
Okay.
somewhere and buy a house on the beach,
Me too.
buy a golf course.
Buy a golf. Okay.
Gotta be at- buy a
There are
beach
plenty
and buy a
of those
golf
to choose
course.
from. Sure.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay. George?
Oh, I'm moving.
South? It's warm?
Somewhere warm.
Yeah. I'm assuming that neither of you you're both like me, no cold?
No cold.
No.
I don't mind the cold, but like if I had the choice, I'm going down to where it's warm.
Ready, you two? What is your go-to party song and why? This one we might
This-
get crickets. I'm not
this
so
one-
sure, students. Here we go.
This
Nick?
one I thought about. This I saw.
Oh, you guys
somebody-
had these.
Well, I did see that. I did see some of the questions.
okay.
And this
That's
one,
fair.
this one kept me up at night because I didn't know what genre I wanted to go with. And I can't pick one specific song, but I will give you one
about a
band.
band?
I'll give you a band
What is
that
it?
when I am hanging out with my friends and we're feeling it a little bit, I'm gonna say Blink-182.
Okay.
I think people still listen to Blink-182.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I like it. George?
I'm going to go with a genre
Go.
of music. 90s hip hop. 1990s hip hop is my go-to party music.
Party music. Okay.
I like it.
I am 80s on 8 all the way.
80s on 8 is not bad.
80s on 8
That's a
because
good
I am
choice.
the quintessential 80s kid.
All right. I like it.
We need an 80s day here so I can still pull out my Chess King jacket that is vintage. That's all I'm going to say
I
to
don't
you
know what
guys.
that is.
I do.
Okay, you and I will chat about that
Chess
later,
King
Mr.
jacket.
Mr. Emanuele. We will talk about that later, much later. All right. I'd like to thank both of our guests for appearing on today's show, of course, George and Nick. And as always, remember to subscribe to Warwick Valley Television's YouTube page. For School Talk, I'm Nick DeLeo. We'll see you next time, Warwick. As always, take care.